I am Erika Joan Urbina. In this occasion, I'm going to talk about the topic developed during this year's module of 5 period. Throughout this tier module, we talked about very interesting topic of which I am going to give a short summary. Let's get started. The first topic is answering listening. As a teacher, we must know that if we need to evaluate the listening skill in our student, there are many factors that we must take into consideration, right? This factor will be known to us after having made a comprehensive diagnostic on the student. In this way, we can take into account the names, the type of information that the student wants to know, their listening level, and the most appropriate way to evaluate our student. So we know listening skill is a very important skill in learning a second language, right? Therefore, it is important to develop it in a student, create a method, and design a tool for evaluation of this skill, depending on the different need and level that the student have. Also, as a teacher, we must implement activities in the class that contribute to development of listening comprehension in our student, right? These activities must be interactive and motivating, where the student feel that he participates in his own learning. The second topic is speaking answering or answering speaking. Speaking is part of communication and it is something we all do every day. So, when we learn it, we must undergo answering of this skill, right? Although we know the evaluation allows us to know the performance of the student, to know their strength and weakness, and to decide strategies for continued improvement, because there is no learning without evaluation and vice versa, right? That is why it's necessary to know the level of speech that the student have. In this way, the teacher will know what strategies, methods to apply to improve and develop this ability or this skill in our student. It is important that the teacher apply evaluation methods according to the different level that each group of students has. I think that to evaluate the speaking skill, it would be not necessary focus on the oral exam, right? But also on the participation they make during the development of the classes. So it is during the classes that we can see the progress they are making day by day, right? This small intervention during each class, but as a teacher, we can realize the significant learning or learning that the student have achieved and focus on helping them improve and develop a higher quality of speaking skill, right? So, the third topic is answering reading skill. Reading, like the previous one, is another important macro skill that must be developed when learning a second language, in this case, English language, right? As a teacher, we must observe our student and identify the skill that need revision, right? As we have said previously, the assignment provides teachers with information about the skill that students have and are not mastering. Like the other macro skill, it is important to make a previous diagnosis or other student, right? We must also put aside traditional teaching and motivate with activities where they participate in a fun way. Without feeling under pressure when it comes to being with an valuing reading ability or reading skill. So, as we know, reading skill includes important factors such as fluency, intonation, tone of voice, pronunciation, etc. It is important to support our students at all times during their learning and development in a second language, right? Many times, for fear of public speaking, they don't want to read in class, but our job is to make them feel confident to read aloud to the class. I think that an activity that can help them a lot it is that they begin by reading books in silence, and when they feel that they already feel confident, that they take the next step to read in front of a group or in front of their classmates, right? The first topic explained to us the importance of asserting our reading skill, right? And the responsibility that we as a teacher have to emphasize and give the greatest possible importance to develop of the four macro skills or four macro abilities of the English language in the studying, right? In this case, would be English language, the four macro abilities of English language. Teacher needs to know how to evaluate the diversity of students that he has in his classroom, right? Although we know reading skill is a way of written communication and allow us to interact with others, right? Where the level of handling can be seen reflected in this skill that student has. We must know everything related to the asserting of this macro skill, right? To be fair and effective evaluator, we must design and use evaluation tools, strategies, and instruments that do allow us to truly know the progress of our student, right? Well, let us remember that before carrying out a formative or systematic evaluation, we had to give our students a diagnostic test to know their needs and in terms of improvement and learning, right? Then we will evaluate depending on the reading levels that the students have. We will not overwhelm them with things that they don't yet know or haven't learned, okay? Well, finally, the last topic is beyond test. This topic talks about beyond the tests themselves and also use other alternatives for the assessment of development in student learning, right? It talks about self-evaluation and peer evaluation. Self-evaluation consists that the student must evaluate himself, taking into account his performance in classes. It must be an efficient self-evaluation. Also, peer evaluation, where each student assigns grade according to the performance give it to his classmates, right? So, also this evaluation or assessment have advantage. One of them is pursuit goal to show the presence of an external stimulus monitor that pursues independently. That is all, and thank you.